Hi, I'm Aiman, and welcome back to one of my, I guess you can call it DIY videos. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the head of a grass trimmer or weed whacker. In this case, we have a STIHL FS94R that I've actually done a review on before, so you can go check out that video. I guess I can mention like it retailed for $350 to $399 back then. Probably is cheaper now, but anyway, let's get right to it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to need to flip this over, and before we do that, you want to make sure that your gas cap is tight on so that when you flip it over, this doesn't fall out. So, it's already tight on. We're just going to flip this over so that we can get access to the head. So here's the first thing that we want to do. We want to take off this cap here, and usually you can just use your finger to get in here and push it down to release it. If your finger does not work, you might have to use a screwdriver of some sort to just push it. But either way, you should be able to get it out. When you do that, you should be able to get access to the spool. And by the way, when you do take this off, just keep in mind that sometimes these little, these parts here are, they're called eyelids or eyelets. They might fall out, so just make sure you don't lose them. They're not that expensive, but they're still something that you wouldn't want to pay too much for if you lose them. So I'm going to put that back. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to take the spool out. And that will require you to rotate them out. Oh, I forgot to mention, you have to push down on it and then rotate it. And then you're able to take it out. So, as you can see, there is a spring on it, so that's why you have to push down on it. And there are a few notches out here that go under the inside of the cap that keep them secure. Now then, if you've ever worked on the tires of a car, you'll know that if something is a spinning mechanism, you're going to need something in order to hold it in place when you take it out. And that's what we're going to need to do with this head here. As you can see, it spins. So in order to stop it from moving so that we can take it out by unscrewing it, you have to find something that will keep it in. And in order to do that, there's a hole right here that you can actually take a rod or a thin screwdriver and insert it into. You want to do this, and you want to spin your cap until it goes in. So you'll see, maybe this will work out. You'll see that the rod actually falls into place, and it's locked in place. So now you want to keep that there so that it doesn't fall out. And then you want to unscrew the head. This is kind of weird though, because usually it's lefty loosey, righty tighty, but this time you're actually rotating it clockwise in order to take it out instead of counterclockwise. And just notice that I did lose the eyelet. That's alright, it's right here. Alright, so funny thing about these eyelets here, according to my dad, you can get them pretty cheap online, 10 for like $5, right? But sometimes he actually lost one while he was in the middle of cutting. So he went to the authorized dealer, as they call it, the only ones that are authorized to sell steel parts. And there he found that they sold eyelets for $5. I'm not sure if it was for one or two of them, but that's $5 for one of these. And you could get them online for 50 cents each. And you could probably get them from China for like 10 cents each. But that takes like 2 months. But anyway, my main point is, if you lose these, it's going to be a real inconvenience to have to replace them. So the reason that we're replacing the head of this weed trimmer, or grass trimmer / weed whacker, is because there are a few reasons. First off, this latch mechanism for the lid seems a bit not secure because sometimes it doesn't lock completely, right? It doesn't latch completely. So we actually tried to use super glue at one time to lock it in. Alright, so enough about why we need to replace it. You probably, if you're watching this video, you probably already need to replace it and you don't need to know why. But let's get back to the process. So if you have trouble with taking out this this head right here, what you can do is you can take a sort of pry bar or any tool that's a long metal rod, and you can stick it through this hole and then just use that to pry it out. Now then, let's get to the actual replacement part. Here we have our new part, the AutoCut 25-2, and this is actually an original steel part. We got this off of eBay for $32, and you could probably get it cheaper from eBay, but keep in mind that might be open box, and if it's open box, it might be aftermarket. And aftermarket parts like this, you could probably get for, no, not aftermarket parts like this, but aftermarket parts of this, you could probably get for $12 online, but according to reviews, they're trash. So my dad didn't want to take the risk because we have to get this now. And mentioning the authorized dealer, since you brought that up already, you could probably get this at the authorized dealer or Amazon for $45. So probably better to go on eBay. So let's take it out. And as you can see, that's nice. The way this works is basically when you first start cutting the grass, these spools are going to be really long, right? And as you cut the grass, these spools are going to get worn down, and sometimes they might even get cut off. And in order to do a quick replacement, all you have to do is just bump it down on the ground. You know, since you're holding your lawnmower, all you have to do is bump it down, and the spool is going to come out. And if it gets too long, what it's going to do is it's going to get cut on this metal ridge right here. And it will allow you to just keep effortlessly cutting the grass. Alright, so without further ado, let's open it. Let's install it. Make sure you keep this plate on here, by the way. That's going to be useful for when you're installing this. Or it's going to be needed when you install this. So first off, we're going to push it in and lift it up. Okay, you can see that the notch goes under and up. And then we can lift that a bit. On the other side, I'm going to show you what it looks like when we take it out with the screwdriver. So you want to go down here to this this little thin notch right here. You want to slide it in. And it's going to go up by itself. And basically, after that, you can see what it looks like. We now have this cap off. And now we have access to the spool. We're going to take the spool off. Oh wait, first off we should take off the cord. And then we can take this out. And next, we can install it. Keep in mind, don't lose the eyelets. These ones, they actually look like they're pretty tight on, so I'm not too worried about that. And finally, remember that, let me think about this. Remember that you have to turn the other way in order to secure it. And at the end of it, you're not going to be able to turn it further. And because of that, you're going to need to lock it in again. Hey, Burton. Okay. Alright, so first things first, you don't have to tighten it too much actually, because when this spins, it's actually going to be spinning in the direction of tightening. So you don't need to worry about tightening. Actually, while I reinstall it, I'm going to be talking about a few things. First off, when you install the spool, this is actually a string, not of cord, which I said earlier. This is string. You want to make sure that the string is tightly wound up. So basically, we can have it tightly wound up like this. Make sure that it's long enough, and then you want to put it in here. You can hold it in with your finger, like this, and then you want to install it. And basically you want to push this down in, and you want to get in between these little ridges inside here, and get it under the point where the eyelids are. You might not be able to see this. Get it under that little ridge with the eyelids. And now what you want to do is you want to take one of your cords, string, and you want to loop it through one of your eyelets, and then you want to take the other one and loop it through your eyelet. It's alright if it's too long. After all, this is going to be AutoCut. And as you can see right now, everything seems to be held in tightly. Alright, let me demonstrate using this empty one so you can have a better ease of access. It's not just under the eyelet right here, but you can also look for these ridges right here that you have to push one of these 6 ridges under. So you want to first get it in, then you want to look from the top. You want to first bump it in, and then let's focus on this ridge right here. You want to rotate it under that bump. There you go. It's in. If you want to just spool in the string, I guess, but since we're here, just take your string, look for one of these holes jutting out, take your end of your string, and then just insert, oh, that's the bad end. Take the end of your string, and then insert it in there. Oh, I faced the wrong way. It's actually this hole. You can actually see the hole. you want to just insert it, and actually it's just friction fit. After that, you just want to wind it around. But let's not waste too much time on that because we're going to get back to the installation. This is actually funny because the AutoCut 25.2 actually came with string already wound around it. We already bought some extra replacement string to wind on this, but it actually came, this was $14, but this actually came with string already installed. So we saved some money. I mean, we saved some money. But anyway, let's get back to installing. We're going to put the cover back on. Now this cover, apparently, according to my dad, these covers cost $10. And yeah, these covers here, they cost $10. And originally he was only going to replace the cover, but he decided, you know, might as well replace the entire thing because you already pay upwards of $300 for a STIHL Weed Wacker. You might as well spend a lot. You might as well spend $30 for the head, you know? And as you can see, as long as you make sure this is secure, we reinstalled the head. All right, let's test out this new head. For the initial startup, you probably want to cut off this. If it's already too long, you might want to cut it off. I mean, it can probably cut itself off, but it's just safe to. And, you know, just get rid of whatever you had before. Especially if you didn't cut it after your last weed whacking trip. Okay. I know I'm going to look clumsy whenever I try to bonk this down, but we'll see. I'm going to look even more clumsy doing this. Alright, so we know what it looks like when it's cutting grass, but for example, if you accidentally go up against a wall and your string gets cut, what you can do, so when you do this, you have to make sure that your head is spinning. As you can see, the string got longer. It didn't actually cut, so let's keep spinning. Boy. And as you can see, after we spin it, you can see that it actually gets trimmed by the metal. Pretty cool, right? You can also, when you bonk it down, you can do it on the ground. Make sure that, keep in mind that the ground it might be a bit soft, so the actual button might not be pressed. So if that doesn't work, you can just bonk it on a piece of wood. Another thing, I mean, did you look at that when I pulled this? That only took me one pull, and I'm like a 16-year-old and like a 16-year-old nerd, so I don't really have a lot of muscles. So just one pull for this steel, that $300, $400, that was worth it for this. I'm pretty sure this is German engineering. Pretty cool, right? I also did a review on this. Go check that out. No shameless plug-in, but wow. All right, so I'm Aiman, and I showed you how to replace the head on a weed whacker or grass trimmer. In this case, we had a STIHL FS94R, and in my next video, I'm going to show you how to replace or install the ripping blade for my dad's table saw. And we also might be doing a video on replacing, and these lawnmower blades are for our Cub Cadet lawnmower. And we actually were attempting to do a video on this earlier, but the lawnmower blades we had before were too long. So that should be a fun video, and I'll see you there. But for now, I'm Aiman, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and look at other videos on EyeOnAiman, especially the DIY videos and the installation videos, because I have a ton of those. And I'll see you there. But for now, I'm Aiman. I said that 2 times already, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.